What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Fit Couch podcast. If you can notice, we got a little upgrade to the room. Got the light, we're trying to deck this out and keep upgrading for you guys so it's enjoyable to watch and listen. But today I have an amazing guest, super cool dude. Name is Cody. Also, some of you guys out there might know him as Mr. Showtyme. We'll get into that in a little bit. But Cody, man, let's start because we do a lot of fitness stuff here, a lot of fitness and nutrition, and we'll get into some extracurriculars. But as far as the fitness thing goes, what got you involved in lifting in the first place?
I had two older brothers that were pretty much like bodybuilder status. They were big into that back in the 80s in Southern California. They're my half brothers, so they're like 23 and 25 years older than I am. But I had them to look up to when I was a young buck, and I was pretty much like the smallest, scrawniest kid growing up in school. And by the time I graduated, I was like, tired of this, man. I want to be buff. I want to get jacked. I want to get all the girls. So that's really how it started. I just wanted to get a good physique on me. And I started weight training at 20 years old out in Placerville at a gym called Fit for Life. And from there, it kind of just elevated more and more and more. The longer I was in it, bigger I wanted to get, the more shredded I wanted to get.
Did you feel like you got pretty good results when you first started? Or was it something that you really struggled with for a while?
I mean, it definitely took a minute. I was very small. So, like, when I started training, I was 5'11", 140 pounds.
Wow.
And it took me probably... By the time I was like 22, I was up to like 175. So I would say within like 2 years, I'd put on like 35 pounds.
Okay, that's decent. Yeah, that's really good.
Just being consistent, not knowing all the things about diet, just really dove into different training programs.
And at 22, you can get away with a lot more.
Oh, yeah. Back then, it was like Taco Bell dollar menu.
Yeah.
How many things can I get?
Yeah, and you still get lean.
Yeah, so the food part of it really didn't come into play, I would say, until more like my mid-20s. At first, it was really just go bang weights and go to work.
Yeah.
Rub food. But then you get into I want to be more cut. I want nice defined abs, and then you start figuring out, okay, this is where food comes into play.
Yes.
So the cleaner that diet gets, the more those cuts are going to show, and save you some work in the gym.
Yeah. So I know that I'm going to fast forward. We might do a little forward and back, but I'm going to fast forward a little bit just so anyone who doesn't know at home. Your full-time job, or you're a business owner, right?
Yeah.
You run your own business, and last I checked, it was the largest male entertainment business in Northern California.
Now we're nationwide now with over 150 entertainers.
Wow.
33 states, and we have 10 revolving different themed male review productions that we run through annually each year.
Okay, I see the ads for the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah. We got Pirates, we got Wild West Outlaws, Back to School Night, Bad Santa, Cupid and Candy, Baywatch. So a little bit of something for everybody.
Nice.
Trying to fulfill each of the fantasies out there.
Okay, all right. So how old were you when you got involved in that?
I was 24, almost 25.
Oh, it seems like it meshes right when the diet thing started to get a little more meticulous. Huh?
Yes.
Is that what really got you more into wanting to, like, okay, what do I got to do to manipulate my body fat, like on another level, or did that come first? And you're like, damn, I'm shredded. I should use my body to make money. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? The shredded abs or the job?
I would say the abs started coming first before the whole dancing thing. I was racing ATVs, selling cars. So I was like racing every other weekend and just trying to be in shape for that. So somewhere around there, it was like, yeah, I want to have abs. I want to be cut. But that was right before the dancing kind of started. Then once I started dancing, then it was like, okay, I want to get the diet really on point now.
Yeah.
Because the way you look has a huge effect on how much money you're going to make.
Absolutely.
the more chiseled you are, you might get a few more bucks.
Yeah. Okay. So some return on your investment.
Right.
So what got you into the dancing? Was there somebody you knew? Or did you just start dancing hip hop and you're like, hey, maybe we should make this a little bit more X-rated? Or how did that path go?
I originally was going to like little bars and nightclubs at that point in time, and girls would just be like, "Are you a male stripper?" And I'm like, "No." And for a few weeks, this was going on. People were just asking me this. I'm like, this is random. Every time I go out, like
That is kind of random.
girls are asking me, like,
I wish I got asked that. I don't ever get asked that question.
I'd be like, why do you think that? Like, what's making you say that? Well, it looks like you got a good body and you move your hips really well, and you're dancing with us. And I'm like, yeah, no, not a male stripper, but sounds like that could be a cool thing. So
Yeah.
the thought just kept getting thrown into my head.
Huh.
And my buddy and I were a little drunk one night. And I wonder if there's any like amateur nights out here in Sacramento, or like how do we apply for something like that? So we found Centerfolds, said they had like an amateur night, every third Wednesday of the month.
But usually that's for girls, right? Or is
no, they had a male review once a month there. So like, yeah, it's a female strip club, but once a month on every third Wednesday they had a male review.
Okay.
And at the end of the night they had a little amateur night. There was some new guys that wanted to try to get on board. So I went down there and did the little amateur night, won the thing.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was only like 3 other guys that I was going up against. I didn't really have much. I just had decent abs and could move the hips well.
Yeah.
So
and did you practice for this?
No practice at all. I honestly went in there pretty drunk because I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing, and just got a little loose and went up there, pulled the shirt off, rolled the abs a little bit, and I made like $30 in probably like 30 seconds. And it was just like, shit, that's a lot of money, like that quick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just was like, I'm gonna dive into this more.
Huh.
I'm gonna see where this goes.
Wow.
And I literally within probably 6 months, quit the car sales job and go.
Really? You just said, I'm just going to go in both feet?
Yeah. I was really burnt out of the car business. I had been doing that for like 4 years, 60 hours a week.
Yeah.
And a guy in his early 20s, like, the car business is great. You can make a lot of money and you learn a lot about sales. But for a young buck, like, who wants to be out partying, exploring, meeting girls, this and that, that's a really tough job. And even the guys that were there were like, you need to go get a different job. Like, you're hanging out with old timers all day.
Yeah.
Like, you're doing an old timer job right now, and you're 22 years old. Get out there, go have fun, go work at a restaurant, go be a bartender, go do something that's fun. And I was just like, oh,
so you did what every other guy would do who leaves a car job,
right?
Start stripping.
Yeah. So yeah, that's really how it started. I dove into it. I thought it was a lot of fun,
and it just grew, huh? Just kind of
it just grew. Like I did a lot of house parties. Then I tapped in with a guy that was an ex-Chippendale. He showed me the ropes and the do's and the don'ts. And hey, if you want to travel the world and do this and do that, like, listen to my instruction. And literally like followed him verbatim.
Nice.
And things just started happening. I started getting more bookings. I started getting put on more live shows.
Let me really quick, because I'm interested in this. When you start, you're doing this on your own, basically, right? Mm-hmm. So you're getting booked just as you, just to show up at like bachelorette parties or like, whatever, right?
Bachelorette birthday, just because, divorce parties, any occasion.
And this is probably back when Craigslist was a thing.
Yeah.
And you could market yourself on Craigslist.
For sure.
Yeah, did you utilize that?
I actually didn't. I signed up with an agency back then.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And to be honest, they're a little crooked. That's really why I started my own business, is because these companies out there, they're your agent, but they don't really market you. They're like, it's all bait and switch. So you pick a guy off a site, and then they're calling me and going, hey, go cover this show, right? But maybe it was you they picked on the site, and now I'm showing up as you. Oh, hey, we picked Johnny, Who are you?
Oh, really?
I'm Johnny.
So you showed up and people were not expecting you?
Yeah, so this is going on for years. Like the first 3-4 years I'm in the business.
Dang, that's a struggle. That's got to be like
Oh, it's annoying.
It gets you a little more nervous too, because
Well,
like, am I what they wanted here?
Now
If they order dark chocolate and they get.
I've had that. They're like, dude, you're supposed to be 6'6", Blake Steele, 250. Like, I'm like, no, I'm 5'11", 180, white boy. But I'll break you off, girl.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, like that's the griminess of the business, and you don't know that until you get in. And at first you're like, oh, okay, so I'm just supposed to say this. And really, like, these agencies are just trying to like coach you and prep you on how to lie and get into a door. Use your mouthpiece, get in the door.
Well, you're pretty good with the sales thing from the car dealership, right? So like, sometimes just biting off 10 seconds at a time to get yourself in the door. I did home to home sales, or like door to door sales.
Right.
So I know what that's like to.
It's tough.
Yeah.
I did that back in the day too, a little bit of door to door sales, and yeah, you really got to use your mouthpiece. Get in there. You know, your agent wants you to use an excuse to get in the door. Why is this person not here, and why are you here? So you got to give a good excuse. Well, after a few years of that, it's like, it's not really fun to show up and this group of women are now disappointed that they didn't get what they. It's not you that they're disappointed in. They're disappointed in the agency because they didn't get what they wanted. Well, at that point, I had like 3 or 4 other dudes I worked with, and I'm like, what do you guys say about us just starting our own thing? Let's just start our own live show. Let's start booking our own parties. And
at this point, when you're getting into doing these shows, how are you learning the moves, the dance? Are you like do you actually have like a full set that you do, or you just kind of go in there and wing it? How does that work?
So at this point, I had a whole house party set. So I had a whole hour-long show that I would do for house parties. And then if you're on live show, you got like a 15-minute time slot. So you have an act that you've already created for your time slot. And then the house party is more of an act mixed with games that you're going to play throughout the whole show.
Oh, wow. And you picked it. How'd you pick this stuff up? Just from that guy that kind of gamed you up?
Not originally. Like, they first just send you out, and you got to kind of just figure it out. Like, they'll send you out with one guy, you watch what he does, and then the agent's like, cool, you've seen a party, you know what to do now, which is really ridiculous. Like, for me, like, our company, it's a mandatory. You have to go through at least 15 shows before I'm even like, okay, you're good to go.
Oh, you have to go watch.
Yeah. Oh, that's like with the other agencies that I started with, they didn't care. It's like, hey, go see one show. Once you see one show, you know what you're doing. With me and the way we run our company, like, you got to see at least 10 to 15 shows before I'm like comfortable putting you out. Okay. I want to make sure you're comfortable before I'm like, hey, I'm going to solicit you now. Totally. You know, like, I want to make sure that you're totally prepared and ready to go, because ideally, like, if you're not ready to go, your show's going to be half-assed. That's a reflection on me and my company.
Totally.
So the other agencies, they don't care about that, sadly.
They'll just change their name. Huh?
Right. They just really every year they're making a whole new website.
Yeah.
And after a while, it just gets like, wow, dude. Like, and all these women, they know that. I mean, the bait and switch agencies have been out there for years now, and 95% of them are horrible.
Huh.
You know, like, there's us and maybe a couple other good agencies in the entire U.S. that like won't scam.
So you just really, as you're doing this over and over again, sometimes you're kind of winging it. You have a little idea of what you're doing, and then you just slowly develop something.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's really just trial and error. You know, that's really how I learned. For our guys, it's not trial and error. It's like, hey,
because you already have a method.
I have a method now. So hey, come watch 2 shows. Once you watch the 2 shows, you have an idea of what's going on. By the 3rd show, I'm going to tell you, you're going to watch this for the last 10, 15 minutes. I'm going to pull you in. Now you're going to start training.
Oh, cool.
So then I'll let them do that for like 10 shows, right? And at that point, you know, they've seen enough to know what's going on. And now practice on your own. Go home, try out these stunts, invite a girl over, put her in a chair, practice the tricks, you know, this, that, and the other. Then you just get sent out, you know. Go get some good photos, put up a profile.
Yeah, okay.
Rock and roll. Yeah,
so a lot of people don't know, well, a lot of people just in general probably don't know. There's the Chippendales type of stripping that's just kind of more sleazy, right?
Chippendales is more production.
Oh, is it? Because I've seen what you do, and what I've seen is like more akin to like Magic Mike.
Yeah, what we do is way more on the scale of Magic Mike. Chippendales and Thunder from Down Under is more just production routines. You're not going to get brought on stage. You're not going to get touched.
Okay.
You're not going to get lap danced on. It's literally come sit and watch this show.
Okay.
That is it. Our show is
it's a little more PG-13.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our show is more hands-on, interactive. You can choose to sit and watch, but you can choose to come be a part of the show. You know, if it's your birthday, we do a special thing for the birthday girls. If it's your bachelorette party, we do something special for the bachelorettes. Even the divorcees, there's divorcees in the building.
Okay, that's a new party thing.
Yeah, it's pretty wild too. Like the divorcee thing is the hot new thing. You know, like do we have any divorcees in the house?
Yeah.
Do we have any bride to be's? Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, the scales are getting off balance.
The scale is shifting a bit. But yeah, it's a fun time, fun business.
Nice. So now, do you do a lot of dancing yourself, or are you just organizing and sending out guys?
Every year I'm backing off a little more and a little more and a little more. Pretty much to the point of let it run itself, and if I choose to go take a booking, I'll take a booking.
And you just manage the bookings and all of that?
Yeah, I manage the bookings, handle all the live shows, do all the recruiting, the training, the accounting, run the website, the Instagram page, Facebook page, everything's social media. So I started out as a talent. Now I'm doing spinning 15 plates at once.
Yeah, but ultimately that's the goal in any career, right?
Right.
Eventually you want to work your way up and have other people doing what you were doing. You just duplicate yourself, right? So, man, that's how many people you have working for you?
Right now, 153.
Really?
Total.
And this is all over
all over the U.S.
Really?
Yeah.
So would you have people in Florida?
Yeah.
Nebraska?
Yeah.
Really?
Everywhere.
Iowa?
Literally. I don't know about Iowa.
Yeah, I don't even know if Iowa's in the USA.
Yeah. Those super far northern states, those are the ones that are really hit or miss. Yeah. But like the whole East Coast, the South, the West Coast, a lot of the mid East, like that's all covered. And even if we don't have a guy in that area, odds are we can find you a guy for your area. It might cost you a little bit more to get him out to your spot, but.
So when you send guys out there, you're not there. You send them out. You book it. So the venue pays you guys to show up. How does that work?
It depends. So some venues they do a flat rate, and some venues they'll say, "Hey, you guys get the door, we get the bar." And at that point, it's up to us to solicit the tickets. A lot more work goes behind that versus if they're just going to pay a flat rate.
Because I'm wondering how guys in like Tennessee would bring you income or how they get paid. They would just get paid tips?
No. So basically, you book a guy. Every time I book a dancer, I get a percentage of that book.
Oh, okay.
So let's say you book the show for $300. Dancer gets $200. I get $100. Just like that, you know. And then they get their tips on top of it too.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then with your live shows, I'm getting all the ticket sales, or I'm getting the flat rate, and then I'm paying, each dancer, host, DJ, stagehand.
But now, do you have to be there for those live shows where you're collecting the ticket money?
I don't have to, but I am. Like at this point, I am just because I'm a freak about making sure everything's brand flawless,
and then you get paid correctly too, right?
Right. Ideally, as we move forward, though, I want to find like just a main guy that I can say, hey, you're now in charge of managing the live show. And the last 5 years was really a trial and error on what we were doing as far as what are we building here? How are we different than the rest of the mail reviews out there? The stereotypical one is just, cop, fireman, military, GQ. So it's like your typical things that you go see at every show. And we wanted to stand out. Like, why would you want to pick our show versus this show?
Yeah, totally.
And that's when we came up with themed shows. Hey, instead of one cowboy at the show, why aren't we all cowboys? Why don't we create a storyline behind this? Why don't we be Wild West outlaws and guide the women through the show by, hey, this is a story of these men. This is what's going on.
Oh, so you have someone narrating some of
Oh
that?
yeah,
Oh,
the
really?
whole thing is narrated. It's really it's male review meets theater. Is
Wow.
really what we've done. So there's really nothing else out there like that right now. So you're kind of getting like a romance novel mixed with male review.
That's
You're getting
awesome, man.
this
I love it.
cool story, and women eat it up. Like
Well, it has more depth to it too, right?
right,
There's
right.
more like you can get a more emotions drawn out and some excitement rather than just physical. Like guys, we're okay. Be quiet. Let me look.
Right.
The girls they like the talking. They want to hear a little bit more.
Yeah, with women, you really got to paint the picture for them. Men, we're like bend over, let me see it.
Yeah.
Women, they're like, if I were to just stand up, pull everything off, and stand there, they'd be like, cool. What are you gonna do next?
Yeah.
So it's women want to be entertained. Period. Women want to be entertained. Men, we can stare, and you don't got to do anything. We're happy.
Exactly.
But women, you're gonna have to do backflips. You're gonna sweat. You're gonna work. So
Okay.
it's for us. It's just been creating that whole picture, that image.
And you just been refining this over time.
Yeah. So we created one theme, ran with it. Hey, that worked. Let's try another theme. Let's try lifeguards this time. Okay, try lifeguards.
Now you got seasonal ones, right?
Yeah. So it's like throughout the year, a venue could pick. Hey, if it's Halloween season, hey, I want your pirate show. That's really popular for Halloween season. If it was Valentine's, February. Hey, we want Cupid and Candy.
Mm-hmm.
Or summertime, springtime. Hey, we want.
You got Bad Santa.
Yeah, bad Santa. You got the lifeguards.
Yeah, nice.
Back to school night is fun. It's like
you're not doing a pilgrim themed one.
no pilgrims, no pilgrims.
I don't know if there's any fantasies out there about pilgrims.
Maybe Vikings. Maybe
there we go. Some Vikings would be all right. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just been a fun new way to try something out, see if it works. It's definitely a gamble. You could spend $2 to $3 grand building one production, and the girls might not like it. Luckily at this point we haven't built anything that was awkward or women were like, yeah, I didn't really like that. Like every time we put one on, it's like, oh man, this was cooler than the last one.
So how do you get the guys out there in other states following your production, like your choreography?
So originally, like how do they learn the choreo?
Yeah, do they have to? Because they're not doing these big themed things out there, are they? Are you booking?
No, we do just the live shows are being held out here just on the West Coast.
Okay,
so we have 12 different venues we work with, and we rotate throughout the year. But predominantly we train our local guys to do the routines, the actual group routines. And then the guys we fly in, they'll just do their solos. This last year, most of the guys we flew in were from LA. So we did a lot of video rehearsals. Zoom, WhatsApp. So that is another way. It's a little more difficult, teaching guys online versus, in the same room.
Totally.
But still make it happen. Nice. If you've got good entertainers that know what they're doing, that pick up choreo, then that makes things much easier.
So what kind of I thought I remember, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, maybe I'm remembering this wrong. I thought I remember you being on TV for something or on some talk show.
Yeah, I've done a Conan Obrien show. I did that in 2015. I did Macklemore's Glorious music video in 2017.
That's right, I remember that. Grandma, her 100th birthday.
Yeah. It was her 100th birthday. I was a fireman in that. Been on Judge Mathis.
Judge Mathis?
Yeah, that was funny. So, like, in case I might be ruining this for a lot of people, but if you watch court television, it's scripted. It's all scripted. I'm sorry to disappoint all you viewers out there.
Judge Judy, how you do me like that?
I'm sorry, it's scripted. They take your story, they tweak it, fabricate it, make it sound way worse.
And then get different actors in there?
Yeah. So like this guy that was against me in this case was basically painting my house, and he never finished the job. So I told him, I'm not giving you your tools back until you finish the job, And in the scene, he's like, I don't go over there to finish the job because it's literally like painting Hugh Hefner's house. There's just naked stripper girls running around everywhere. And it's like, how do you even control yourself or compose yourself? I'm like, this is hilarious because like none of this is going on.
Yeah, I know,
what
I know, I
Like
know, I
he's
know.
making it sound like
Yeah.
it's Hugh Hefner and like we're
Yeah,
just
I've been to your
partying all
house before.
day,
It's not like that at all.
no. So, that was one thing I did. I just filmed in another movie called Sweatpants. That should be out in theaters at some point this year.
Really?
Yeah.
What'd you do in that movie?
Just a dance scene in there, a couple
Wow.
backgrounds. Truth be told, I really don't know what the whole movie's about. That's kind of the funny thing about Hollywood and filming is if you're just in a couple scenes, you almost don't even know what the movie's about.
You
or
just show up and
anything.
do what
Yeah.
you're told, huh?
You just show up, do your role, and here's your check. Bye. Thank you. We'll let you know when it airs.
Oh, right
Yeah.
on. So it's actually coming to theaters, huh?
Yeah, that'll be
Wow.
in theaters at some point this year. I don't know if it'll be spring, summer, winter, fall, but
Huh. So it's not a movie based around male review.
no, it's totally off the wall, and I just happen to be. These women are celebrating a bachelorette party, and they're out at a bar, and I just happen to be the dancer that's there that night.
Oh, wow.
And
Funny.
busted out on the dance floor.
Oh, nice.
So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, yeah. I can't
I'm
wait.
excited to see it.
I'm gonna go see this movie just to say, hey, I know that guy.
Right.
Hopefully your scene stays in the movie.
Right. No, they're really excited about it. They made a really big deal about it. They had me come out and do some photos. I'm supposedly like going to be on their main poster board in the theaters for their advertisements.
Damn. Okay, that's cool.
Kind of fun.
So Conan, we got this movie. We had Macklemore.
I also filmed in Chocolate City too. That was another movie that I did. That was like a Magic Mike type of movie. That was
Just the black version.
Yeah, black every color version in that one.
Okay.
It was like 5-6 different groups of male entertainers that they had this whole thing, and we're all like competing,
Wow.
for a big prize.
Huh.
That was a pretty fun deal though.
Oh, right on. Cool. Anything coming out in the works there? And more media, big time media?
From that?
No, yeah, we'll just
just
like coming up soon. Do you have
nothing? I mean, I just did that one podcast a month ago. That was pretty cool. And then the sweatpants thing, but nothing coming up that I know of as far as now.
Okay, cool. To be TBD,
yeah,
right?
Entertainment is really funny like that. Like you can be on a roll and have like project after project, and then you can just be on standby for 6 months where you're like, I need to get something going. What's going on? So it's really funny. Like things just come and go. Like I'm busy always anyways, just for the regular dance stuff. But any of the bigger gigs that you get, it's like you're kind of just thankful when you get those big opportunities.
They get seasoned in there a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, we had to get all that out of the way, right? Because
Right.
We got to learn more about what you do for work. But as far as how that translates into fitness and how we can help some of the people who are listening, when you got into really honing in your diet, what were some of the things that you really started to focus on? This is your mid-20s, you're just starting to dance. How did you first start to structure a diet for yourself?
So initially protein, obviously, you find out quickly that protein is huge and you're not going to get the gains without it. So immediately I just started figuring out how much protein I needed per meal. And then, little by little after that, it's like, okay, how many carbs do I need? How many fats do I need? And then it gets even more serious. Okay, now instead of peanut butter for fat, let's tighten it up even more. Let's go to an avocado, So you really just start learning about all the different foods, what they do, how much you need to take in per meal.
That's the biggest thing too, like how much you as an individual need to take in.
Yeah.
And I think that that's something a long time ago I lost. For me, it was like get big, so eat everything, right?
Right.
So I'm eating literally everything. And getting way more fat than I am muscular, right?
Yeah.
So, and that was the old way of thinking, was just eat as much as you can, and then obviously hit your protein. But as far as figuring out, like for you specifically, how many calories you need, were you tracking your food back then? Were you just trying to make smarter choices?
At first, wasn't exactly tracking. I just knew like 6 ounces of meat per meal would be, 30 grams of proteins.
Mhm.
So like that was the biggest concern. And then when I realized like, okay, the carb number needs to be smaller, like once I started figuring all that out, that's when getting sliced and diced really came
Nice.
into
Into
play.
fruition, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And moving forward, one thing I really, really wished, and I don't really know why I didn't tap into it, but just the knowledge of plant-based dieting.
Okay, so I was going to get there with you. Yeah. I was going to get there with you. So, with the food, my question was going to be, well, twofold. One was, if you could tell yourself 10 years ago, 15 years ago, what you know now about nutrition, what would that be? So let's start with that, actually. And they might cross over, these two questions.
Yeah, a lot of you out there might disagree, but I'm going to tell you this right now. You don't need to eat 6 ounces of protein or 6 ounces of meat every meal, 5-6 meals a day. I was cramming 250 grams of protein a day. I probably taken 100 now.
Really?
And I
Wow.
noticed.
Okay, this went a little different than I thought. Okay.
I notice no difference.
Really?
In gains, strength. I don't know if that's just my body, but
Did you drop your protein intake because you quit eating meat?
pretty much. Yeah.
Really?
I in 2019, I literally was just fed up, dude. Bored with those meals. I mean, I was at that point, I was 14 years into weight training, 14 years into basically eating 5-6 meals a day, where 4 of those meals are ground turkey, chicken, or beef.
Yep.
I'm going through 32 ounces to 40 ounces a day of meat, or every
Yeah, this
other
pretty much
day.
sounds how I'm eating. Yeah.
And I don't know, dude. I literally just got sick of it. And around that time, I had another dancer buddy that was like, man, I've been on this plant-based diet, bro, and I love it. He didn't know I was like trying to switch diets or anything. We just happened to get in conversation. He was like, I watched this TV show called The Game Changers.
Oh, I remember.
And I started trying out this diet, and I love it. Dude's jacked, been working out his whole life. He's in his 50s at this point. I'm like, okay, shit, maybe I'll try that. I don't know anything about that. And I started doing it, and within 2 weeks, I was blown away at how great I felt.
Really? What was when you say how great you felt, like what was one of the first things you really noticed?
Immediately, energy levels.
Really?
I would eat a meal and actually want to go do something. When I'd eat my other meals, I wanted to go lay on a couch. After I go eat a steak or a 8 ounces of ground turkey or something with the rice and the broccoli, I didn't want to go perform. I wanted to go relax. And I just felt tired and lethargic all the time. And when I switched that plant-based diet, I just noticed my energy levels were through the roof.
Wow.
I noticed my sleep got better. Kind of gross, but bowel movements were better.
Really?
Noticed that.
Well, I could see that for sure. Now, when you took meat out, what did you replace it with?
I was replacing it with beans, all kinds of beans. Black beans, kidney beans, lentils.
Cutting out the rice at this point, or are you still?
No, I was still doing the rice, quinoa, beans and barley,
oats for breakfast.
Oats. What else?
So you don't. What would you do for breakfast? Like, how would you get protein?
So my breakfast would consist of oats, a plant-based protein powder.
Oh, okay.
Triple berry blend of berries, a banana, spinach.
So you blend this
that up.
Assuming,
I've been doing a shake since I started working out.
Oh, really?
Like literally 20 years I've been starting my morning with a shake.
Oh, okay.
I've never really had a big appetite for like a whole solid meal in the morning. Just seems to get me going pretty well. So yeah, I've always done the shake. I just switched from a whey protein to a plant-based protein.
Okay.
I also noticed when I switched from whey to plant-based, way less gassy, way less bloaty. I drink whey and look like I'm pregnant in 10 minutes, you know. So for me, I just felt like my body would function better. I just felt better, clarity in my brain, less fogginess.
So how does this does your family do plant-based as well?
Off and on. They're not like as strict as I am.
Yeah, which they probably never were as strict with their diet as you were.
Yeah,
anyway,
no,
right?
no. I don't think anyone in my family is as strict as I am, but my sons definitely like to go through plant-based stuff, but it's really like, you know, one week they want that, the next week they want something else. To where
Yeah.
I'm more like, I can do meat, but I really can only do it for like a couple meals. Like if I do
Oh,
meal,
have you eaten meat since 2019?
yeah, I'll do it here and there. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
in situations where there's not a vegan option, or maybe I'm just craving it. Maybe
Okay.
I'm like, hey, I want a tri-tip sandwich
So this
today.
isn't like an animal sustainability
No,
thing.
as time has gone on, I definitely can see why there's vegan activists. I mean, if you watch documentaries, I just watched Why on Earth, a documentary with Clint Eastwood, and I mean, realistically, like, yeah, you could definitely watch these things and become an animal activist
Totally.
off of how they treat these animals. It's awful. It's
Definitely. I
horrible.
think factory farming's pretty gross.
Right. So I do it because of that? No.
Okay.
That is not initially why I became a plant-based dieter. It was literally like I just needed a change in diet. I needed a change in pace. And as time went on, then I started getting more informed on this is why these animal activists are all about this. And
Oh,
and
okay.
now I see that other side. You know, I'm not like, oh, you eat meat, you're an asshole. You know, like I'm
Yeah.
not. You know, whatever you want to do is what you want to do. I literally am doing this because I just flat out feel better.
Really? Oh, that's
I
awesome.
tend to stay leaner. I feel like on a meat diet, maybe I stayed bulkier, but I was also fattier.
Hmm.
Now I just stay. I feel like I'm at fight weight all the time.
Really?
You know, um, and after a meal, like I said, I go and perform. I'm hungry for my next meal. I never was really hungry for my next meal when I'd eat meat. It was definitely like I gotta force this down. And when
Really?
I
Yeah,
was
I don't
doing
definitely never feel that way.
no,
No.
so
I'm hungry all the time.
when I would do like 5,000 to 6,000 calories a day, uh, it got to a point where
That's a lot for a guy your weight.
oh yeah, dude, I got up to 200 at one point, like fully natural. I've never done steroids, never believed in any of that stuff.
And you had abs at
Yeah,
200
yeah,
pounds?
yeah.
Wow.
Still shredded, you know. At that point, I was solid around like 10 to 12%,
Oh, okay.
and now I sit between 8 and 10. Um, but
Yeah, I was just asking about how what different you were saying that the meat kept you full for longer, you didn't have as much
oh
energy.
yeah. So when I was doing like 5,000 to 6,000 calories a day, like I was 185 trying to get to that 200 mark.
Mhm.
I was getting flown out a lot, and I was dancing with what is known as the black circuit. These are big boys. These are very, very, very. You feel like you're in a locker room with NFL
Oh,
superstars.
wow.
Everyone's on the shit. They're all sliced and diced.
Yeah.
Your average dude's 220. You know what I mean? So
Wow.
I'm 5'11", 185, 190, and I'm cut. I'm shredded. I perform like a mofo, but that's tough to go out after someone just cleared the stage that's 6'3", 240 and can murder it.
So that's
You
why you're
know,
trying to eat more.
I'm trying to get bigger. I'm trying to, I'm trying to be at that same comparison, but I also am not into steroids. So
Yeah.
it's tough, dude, to try to even compete. It's like being a pro athlete that's not going to be on something. You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
almost impossible to compete on that level without being there. And you know, I got to a point where I was literally blending my meals.
Oh, wow.
And I'm not talking a shake. I'm talking
Blended chicken?
chicken
Oh,
breast,
disgusting.
beans, green beans, the broccoli, the rice, blend, go, pull it off,
Just because you couldn't stomach
just because I
eating.
couldn't stomach it. And then I'm trying to get all these calories down. I'm throwing up because I'm trying to put too much in my body.
Why not just drink egg whites or like
I was doing that too.
Oh,
I was doing the egg whites. I was doing everything possible that I could to
Yeah.
try to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And my wife at the time, she's a certified nutritionist, so she's just adding to my plan every week.
Yeah.
And then finally she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I can't get all this down, so I just blend it down." She was like, "What?"
Yeah.
And I'm literally like blending this, and like she's filming me and like showing this to other people. Like, he blends everything.
Oh
Like,
my God.
oh, it was awful, dude.
That's
And
dedication.
yeah, it's just how
A
bad.
chicken broccoli smoothie? I've never heard
Oh,
of
dude,
that.
it's awful, awful. I mean, you're holding your nose and just trying to chug it and get it done, And
But that was better than just chewing it?
I just got tired of sitting there and taking 30 minutes to eat a meal.
Oh.
I don't want to sit there and chew and chew and chew and chew for 30, 40 minutes. Like, I literally just got sick and tired of it.
Yeah.
So it was just,
So yeah, your wife is does preps competitors for
yeah,
bodybuilding shows,
yeah,
right? And she's been doing that for quite a while.
yeah.
Does she run a mixture of like plant-based plans and
She can do
meat?
anything. It really just depends on what you want to do. At this point, she does diabetics, she
Oh,
does
okay.
vegan, she does pro bodybuilder, she does people that are super overweight, like literally anything that you're trying to do transformation wise, she's got it down, and the people that have medical complications, those are the ones that have to be the most strict on everything, and she's got it down, knows what she's doing at this
So a
point.
typical bodybuilding diet for her, is it like lentils and rice and oats, or is it like 6 ounces of chicken and
She still does more meat than I do. But she's not really crazy about the dieting and then training and all that. You know what I mean? She just eats like you know 2-3 meals a day. She's not really like on it as far as her clients or me. 4, 5, 6 meals a day.
That's what I
Um,
meant though. I meant like for her clients, is she prescribing like meat
yeah, yeah,
meals?
yeah, yeah. She's prescribing the 5, 6 meals a day. If they're doing the meat, X amount of ounces per meat. But it really just depends on each client. If they want plant based, she can
Yeah,
do
yeah.
plant based. If they want to mix plant based and meat, she can do
Oh,
that.
that's
So
cool.
it's really the way she does it. It's not like, hey, this is what you have to eat. It's literally like, what foods do you want to eat? What foods do you not want to eat? And
Yeah,
then
that's a great
she
approach.
takes that plan and tweaks it to where it works for your body. She doesn't. Her idea is if you don't like the food you're eating, you're not going to stick to your plan.
Absolutely. That's the same thing I tell everyone.
Right. It's not sustainable.
Yeah.
And you don't. I mean, unless you're trying to be a bodybuilder or a model, dude, you don't have to be that strict. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
being that strict all the time is if you're competing and you're going that next level. The average person isn't trying to do that.
yeah.
They're just trying to get in decent shape, maybe get some abs.
Yeah, and enjoy their lifestyle at the same time, right?
Right.
Like have a happy medium with that,
Right.
which might mean, incorporating some foods that may not be the standard bodybuilding foods every once in a while, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. So, as far as bodybuilding shows go, when are we going to see you out there?
I don't know about that, man. I've never really had the desire to do a bodybuilding show.
Well, actually, that makes sense because to do a bodybuilding show, you have to pay a lot of money to show off your body, and you get paid to do it. So it's kind of counterintuitive.
That's the issue I have.
Yeah.
I'm like, if they were paying me to get on that stage, then maybe I'd want to get
Yeah,
that dieted down and that strict. But I've thought about it from time to time, and we do have entertainers that are bodybuilders, and my hat's off to them because my level is definitely a strict level, but that's another level to me. Getting down to that 3-4% peak week, and I'll get down to 6% for a photo shoot or something.
But
But
that's still really lean.
that's still lean, and to the average person, what do you mean, bro? You should go bodybuild. And I'm over here like,
Yeah, but you feel like shit that lean, right?
yeah,
Yeah, like 6%
yeah,
is like,
yeah. You don't feel good. I mean, you're shredded, and you feel like you're gonna pass out at any second half the time, and any
Yeah.
super exertions, you're just so tired.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The wind blows and you want to lay down.
Right. I like sitting around 10. Ideally, that's
You
that's
feel
a
good
good
there.
spot there.
You can still feel strong in the gym.
Yeah, yeah. Um, plenty of energy in the gym still, not getting fatigued. But yeah, when you get down to those 8, 7, 6, and you go into train, I mean, it's just tougher. It's just a lot harder to bang the heavier weight, get in there and get at it. You're just drained.
Yeah, and the recovery process is a lot harder too.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. So, as far as you're on plant-based diet now, and that's pretty much. You think that's for life now?
As far as I am now, yeah, I mean, I don't see a reason to go back the other way. Like I said, even when I do meat now, I mean, I'll do it if I do meat for one day, I'm not running that great the next day.
Oh, really? So you can
I'm
feel an immediate
bloated,
difference. Okay.
I'm more tired, I'm more foggy.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know if that's everybody in the world,
Yeah.
Like I'm really into tapping into what's going on in my body. I'm very, very intuitive with what is going on with me. I can feel it,
Totally.
I can take a pre-workout and go, okay, yeah, this one's gonna do something for me, or I can take one and go, this isn't gonna do shit,
Yeah. And you can see how your body responds to certain products like that too. Like, oh, I'm holding more water with this. Maybe
Right.
what else is really in this thing? And
Right. And not everybody does that, like even creatine. Some creatines I take, I look watery, I look bloated, I hate it. And then there's some creatines I take, and I just look nice and full and tapered, and
nice,
just a different brand.
nice,
Like,
right on. So, what's your workout routine looking like now?
that's another thing I've changed a lot too. Is I switched from weight training to calisthenics.
Okay.
So two things that
Yeah, we got some calisthenic friends out here that are pretty serious about that.
I love it. That is the other thing. Two things that I would say I wish I learned earlier in this is calisthenics and plant-based dieting. I wish I would have learned that in the beginning. Why I didn't, I don't know. I guess I just didn't research enough. Maybe the crew I was working out with, they didn't know those things. I don't know.
Also, now social media has exposed us to more things than we were previously in our own little bubble.
Right.
Right? You're like, oh, I read Flex magazine. I need to do 3 sets of 10 of this, and that kind of just becomes dogma for a while.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, like I said, when I first got into it, it was I want to be big, I want to be huge.
Yeah.
And so people are like, "This is what you got to do."
Yeah.
3 sets of 10.
Yeah. I know.
So I mean that you just do that, and I think for me, I was at the same time where I was getting tired of my dieting. I was also getting tired of my training.
Okay.
14 years of doing curls and chest press, and you get to a point where you're like, there's no more goal. There's no more. When you start down here, next week I want to bench this. Next week I want to bench this. Next week I want to curl this. So you go through that for the first few years, but then you get to a point where you're like, I'm not gonna curl anymore. That's it. I'm not gonna bench anymore than that. I don't even want to bench anymore than that. My shoulders are starting to feel goofy.
Yeah.
So for me, I was getting burnt out on how I was dieting. I was getting burnt out on how I was training. I needed a full revamp.
Nice.
And I started dabbling with Ninja Warrior.
Okay.
So I started taking some classes. I started doing the plant-based diet thing. And at that same time, simultaneously, I went, okay, let me change my training too.
Oh,
so I
cool.
changed the diet. I changed the training. And I got hooked on Ninja Warrior. And I realized how little of, I guess, acrobatics that I had that I needed, like.
Yes, because there's a lot of carryover with what you're with dancing, right?
Right. I mean, there's just, with weight training, you're going to get big and you're going to get shredded. But it doesn't necessarily mean you're super fit.
Yeah.
I mean, I learned really quick, like, holy crap, dude, these guys cardio-wise are killing. I need to drop some weight. I need to lean down a little bit. Like, I need to lose a little bit of mass. So I went from this mindset of I want to be huge to I want to be able to throw myself 12 feet from that bar to that bar and be able to catch it without ripping a shoulder.
Yeah.
So your training style becomes a lot different, and it becomes, well, I don't need to be weighted anymore. I need to do
Unweighted,
things right.
Yeah.
I need to be able to do 100 pull-ups in 20 minutes. I need to be able to knock out 300 push-ups. And when you just try to knock out 100 push-ups after you've been weight training for 14 years and you can't even do 100 in a few minutes, I don't know. For me, I was just like, how can I bench this much, but I can't even do simple push-ups? I'm getting wore out after 20 push-ups. You know? And for me, it was just like, man, if I step this up, I bet you my dancing is going to be a lot better. I bet you my performing is going to be a lot better.
And you've noticed that?
Yeah, my cardio, my mobility, everything, dude. Like injuries, those are not happening anymore. Not like they were before. And I don't know if it's just because I am more mobile now. I'm doing what's known as yoga sthenics. I do handstand classes, calisthenic classes. I do pole training now, pole fitness. So, for me, my heavy weight day now is the pole. My light day is yoga.
Oh, okay.
So that's how I'm doing that. And I didn't stop weights in 2019 completely. I've gone back and forth. Right now I've been just calisthenics for the last 4 months. The last time I was in a weight room was like in October. And I was just getting burnt out again,
and then you go back and you get super sore, and then the calisthenics aren't a thing for a few days.
Right. So I've just learned that I personally think you need all of them. Mm-hmm. I think mixing in your yoga with your calisthenics, with your weight training, with your cardio, I think it's just going to amplify everything. If you stay with just weights, you're only going to get so much out of that. If you stay just calisthenics, you're only going to get so much out of that. Calisthenics, way more acrobatic, endurance is up, stamina is up, but I lack that pump. When you're getting that, there's nothing like that weighted pump feel. Yeah. So there are days where I'm getting a crazy good workout. You get a pump, but it's not like that weighted pump. Where you're just like, you're feeling, you're watching it grow. With calisthenics, it's like I'm just trying to perform this movement, dude. I'm just trying to be able to do a front lever raise right now.
So what do you think about doing weight training twice a week, calisthenics twice a week, and yoga once a week?
Yeah.
Would that be a great
that
plan?
would be great. The reason I went to just calisthenics is because I was performing last year in December. I had to do live pole shows. And I was pretty much just like nervous as hell about not recovering quickly enough.
Oh, for sure.
The pole destroyed you. You got to do it every other day. Like at that point, I had 3 months before I was going to perform. And I don't think there was a day that went by in 2.5 months that I wasn't completely destroyed. Like really? I'd get on there and I'd do my 40-minute session. And I mean, bicep, tricep, shoulder, chest, core, you are just feeling it. The next day you're waking up and you're just like, holy shit.
It's like that first soreness all over again.
Oh, dude, and it never went away. Like, I never didn't feel sore.
Wow.
Until I finally just backed off for a couple weeks, and then it went away. And now I'm finally to a point where I can get through a session and I'm not feeling like, holy crap, dude, I like destroyed my biceps this week.
You're really selling this pole fitness to me right now.
Oh, dude, it is.
Like, I'd love some bicep soreness again.
Oh, dude, without a doubt, the hardest training I've ever done in my life. Huh. And it's addicting because it's challenging. And like for me, I'm just like.
So there's new bars to reach for.
Oh yeah.
Right. It's like when you first start weight training and trying to bench this much. Now you got you're developing better technique.
Right.
Okay, I can get this better. It looks cleaner. I'm holding it longer.
Right.
I can transition smoother. Right? Is that kind of like the new
100%. Yeah, you start with simple movements, like with the pole. The flag, the human flag. You can do it one way where you're.
Oh yeah, I've seen you do that on.
You're coming up and you can hold it here, or there's the up flag where you're upside down. That's a flag. Or there's coming down and then holding the flag. Ooh. So there's multiple ways to do it, and then there's a 360 flag. That's where you're holding and you make it look like you're taking steps with your feet.
Oh wow!
So you're rotating 360 degrees while you're holding and making it look like you're walking on stairs. So that's kind of like advanced, like expert mode. You know, I'm not quite to that yet, but I'm to a point where I'm getting the rising up and rising down. But it's next level core, dude. Like,
yeah, that sounds like
there's nothing I've ever done in the gym that destroys my abs like that. You know, it's like I'm getting out of bed like, oh shit, in the mornings. Like, it's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all the people at home looking for a good ab workout,
Oh yeah.
just start pole dancing.
Pull. I would say start with calisthenics, basic calisthenics. From there, start learning more advanced movements. Handstands are huge. Handstands are one of the best things you can do for core. I just finished a 30 days to handstand. I could handstand before I started the course, but it clarifies everything you need to be doing in your body. You know, protraction, being active in your hands, active in your wrists.
Oh, okay.
Where to stare when you're doing it, and you know, before I could handstand and walk, but I could never just handstand and stay there. So now I can just
Way more stable.
and
Nice.
boom and get right into it without falling over and being all wobbly and everything. But that, you know, that took some time to learn all that and stabilize your muscles down. But it's just, I like the challenge of, I can't do this movement right here. You know, like for me, a bicep curl, there's no more challenge. It's just adding more weight or more reps, and I've done that.
Yeah,
so
there's
much
no more
that,
skill, attainment.
right. It's just, for me, the weight training is just pump. You know, like getting that pump, that feeling, that gets me fired up for that. But with the calisthenics, it's literally just, holy shit, I can't do this movement. Yeah. I'm watching this guy do
Plus,
this
it makes
movement.
you feel young again, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because you know, we're getting a little older than some of these younger kids
Yeah.
who do the handstands and the calisthenics without trying.
Right.
It's been many years since the monkey bars in school.
Oh yeah.
Right. So it is a little different. And when I can see myself jump higher than someone else, I'm like, oh yeah, see, I still got it.
Right. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You know, you just start seeing that your body does things that you couldn't do before, and it doesn't take a lot. I mean, literally once a week.
Really?
If you just do 40-minute class once a week, you're gonna see week after week after week. Oh my god, that got a little easier. Last week I couldn't do that movement. Now I can do that movement.
Oh, that's cool.
So then the next week you're going, okay, I can tuck lever. Now I want a front lever. You know, so then you go to the front lever. Oh, I can't do that. Okay, I need to still do these tuck levers. So there's progression in the movements. You know, if you can't do that full movement, you got to do the progressive movement. Yeah. Once you get the progressive movement down, maybe you can't do two legs, but you tuck one leg and do just the one leg. You know, okay. The next week you untuck and do both legs. So it's really just a matter of what is your body going to be capable of letting you do.
Which is probably great to have a coach kind of guide you through those progressions, right?
Yeah. I've been using the Fit app. You ever heard of that?
Yes.
So I just got that 3 months ago. That's probably the best investment I've ever made for.
Really?
Yeah, just because you have a coach right there. You have a map, you know, from start to finish. This is your program today, and
nice. It's like the Rosetta Stone of calisthenics. Huh?
I mean, it's just nice. You know, how many people go to a gym and walk around because they don't know where they want to start.
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
You know, hey, I want to do arms today, but you don't. Okay, so what do you want to start with? Curls, single arm curls, double arm curls, preacher seat. You know, so I notice a lot of people at the gym, they do a lot of walking around and don't have a set plan.
Sometimes there's too many options too.
Right. Yeah. And so what I like about this is I can just open my app. I can do it anywhere. I don't even need a gym either. You know, you can do it park, home, whatever. And it's just start from finish. Here you go. This is the program I want to do today. Boom. And there's anything on there. I mean, there was even like ski training, snowboard training, surf training, baseball training, calisthenics 1, 2, 3, you know, planche lean, handstand, full fitness. So
this app needs to give you kickbacks for this endorsement.
I know, right?
This endorsement.
Shouldn't even be saying their name, right?
Yeah, I know.
But no, it's a great great tool that I just started using, and I would advise that to anybody that's at a plateau, bored with their workouts, looking for something new.
Cool.
And I mean, we can all learn new stuff.
Totally. This is yeah. I was hoping to fish some of this stuff out of this great information.
Yeah, I mean, this is. I just had my 40th birthday, so I've been training 20 years now. I'm still learning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Literally, like in my head, I'm like, how did I just learn about plant-based dieting 6 years ago? And I've been doing this for 20 years. Like, how did I not tap into that before? But it's your influences. It's who you're around.
And I think we're resistant to well, at least I was when I was in my early 20s. I was kind of arrogant, kind of thought I knew everything.
Yeah.
And I wasn't open to hearing things that may sound outside of what I was used to hearing.
Yeah.
I wasn't as receptive. But then as I get older, I'm like, wow, I know way less than I think I knew. And what are you doing over there? It could be someone brand new that has a year of training under their belt, and I'm learning something from them because for whatever reason, right? Because I'm open to hearing. So that's something that's great that comes with age is the ability to realize, hey, I've been wrong about a lot of things.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you learn as you go, and like you said, media now has unlimited information out there on things, and truth be told, unless you're trying to bodybuild, you technically don't need to go to a gym. You don't really need to hit weights. If you're trying to bodybuild and you're trying to be thick and have that look, then yeah, you got to go hit those weights.
True. I mean, there's so much you can do: pull-ups, push-ups. I mean, basic body weight stuff can take you pretty far.
Pretty far, yeah. So it really depends on what you're trying to gain and what you're trying to accomplish. But the calisthenics for me is just been huge, and it's just been fun. I feel like a kid playing on the monkey bars.
Yeah,
like there's just I see a movement and I'm like, cool, let's try that today. See how that goes.
Nice.
And oh, I can't do that. Okay, what's this app say? Like, oh, okay, here's the progressive movement. All right.
I've got some friends out here that are really into the calisthenic thing. Maybe I'll connect you guys if it ever worked out.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're big on it. They do regular Sundays at the park and right across the street, which I know is kind of far from you, but they're down to travel. They're super cool. They always trying to learn new things from other people. They're really about it up here. So
that's cool, dude.
I'll make sure they listen to this and maybe they can reach out. Speaking of reaching out, where can people at home find you?
So you can get a hold of me on Instagram at Mr. Showtyme, spelt with a Y, SHOWTYME. If you'd like to check into our male review stuff or ladies' night entertainment, it's Showtime's Entertainment, also spelt with a Y. You can go to showtimesentertainment.com. Other than that, just reach out to me if you want to talk to me personally. It's just at Mr. Showtime.
Cool. Right on, man. There's so much stuff that we could talk about. I'm going to wrap this up. This was a great conversation. And yeah, man, hopefully maybe you'll come back and we can do a part 2.
Sounds good. Thank you for having me.
All right, man.